Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. The Zak Wasap, today's lesson is entitled From Real ID to Digital ID to MOTB. The build up. Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His beloved Son in the Paleo Hebrew. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel of the Most High to use the gospel preached. So the build up, all right, Esau, Edom, which is the nation of people that's in the position of power, they, of course, they rule the world in wickedness, Job 9:24. But the way they rule the world is through a lot of confusion. In fact, America is scripturally known as Babylon the Great or the whore. And Babel goes back to confusion, right? And part of Esau's rule is backed by a lot of confusion. And he uses gradualism to push, his certain policies. He pushed forth his agenda through gradualism. All right. Let me go here to Revelation 12 real quick. I'm gonna start at 7. This goes into the war in heaven. Basically, Yahweh Shai and Michael and innumerable angels fighting against Esau's aircrafts and destroying them. This is Revelation 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is this power structure that we're in now, ruled by the Edomites. And the dragon fought in his angels, his aircrafts, his blue angels, spirit bombers, the F-35 Raptors, F-22 jets. They got missiles and laser technology and all type of new technology, AI, all these different futuristic weapons that Esau has. These aircrafts is going to have them on them, and they're going to be fighting against Yahweh Shai. And in fact, Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, goes into this in more in depth. And prevailed not, so Esau isn't going to get the victory. And neither are the other heathen nations that will be turned to fight against Yahweh Shai in the heavens. They're not going to prevail either. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. They're going to be thrown out of rulership. But here's the point. And that great dragon was cast out. Esau's power structure. And what makes up Esau's power structure is you have NATO, which is an acronym for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU, European Union. And with America being a part of that assembly, it makes up this kingdom ruled by the Edomites, or as the scriptures call it, the great dragon. All right. He's going to be cast out. He's going to be destroyed. That old serpent called the devil and Satan. These are attributes of these Edomites. Serpent, remember the story of Eve, where that serpent-like man deceived her? He basically offered her some philosophy, some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that was outside of what Adam taught her. All right, she did eat of it. She did get the understanding. She did apply it to her life. She did walk in that philosophy, and she convinced Adam to be a part of it. So the spirit that's in these Edomites is the same spirit that was in that serpent-like man, and if you can receive it, it's the same person. Called the devil. Word devil goes back to the Hebrew word, the Greek word diablos, salakia, which means a slanderer. And it's written that Esau slandereth his own mother's son. Come against Jacob. And Satan. Satan meaning adversary. Pretty much everything that the Lord has set up as righteous, all right, he classified as wicked. In Isaiah 5:20, it speaks about how these devils turn good into evil and evil into good. And Apostle Paul in the book of Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, spoke about how Esau is coming after the working of Satan, meaning he does the bidding of the left-hand side of the Most High in earth. So these are characteristics of these Edomites. Here's the point, which deceiveth the whole world. Esau lies to the whole world, man. So black, white paradigm, believing that it's all these different genders, believing that the world is 65 million years ago, got people believing that they didn't went to planet Mars. All right, got people believing that they're the people of the Bible, that the Messiah is a so-called white man. Hey, we can go all day. Got you believing you eating real food and you're not. Got you believing in this bipartisan government. Got you believing in voting. Got you believing in, these presidents that are set in office is put there, to help out the people. Got you believing in this fake money, this monetary system, which is backed by fractional reserve banking, which is really the cause of all this debt. Esau has deceived the whole world, his history. All right. We can go all day going into how he deceived the whole world. All right, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. So part of Esau's lot is to deceive the world, right? And this is how we know who the Edomites are. We know the Edomites by their fruit, like Yahushua said when he gave a parable on the tree and its fruit. He said, a tree may be known by its fruit. The fruit is the actions, the manners, the customs, the behavior, and the tree is a person. So the prophecies tell us what characteristics or what fruit grows on the Edomites. This is Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him. This is Esau in a position of power, that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And the part of Esau lot is to not only deceive the whole world, but it's also to take peace from the earth. And as he's taking peace from the earth by means of order out of chaos, it's all in efforts for him to push these agendas, whether it's the real ID, whether it's the digital ID, leading to the MOTB. All right. Let's continue on. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him. Who gave him the power? The Heavenly Father. Like it says in the book of John. And it was a quote that John the Baptist made. He said, a man, which was a true statement, a man can receive nothing except it was given him from the Father which is in heaven. All right. So the Heavenly Father gave Esau this power on the left-hand side. And when we say the left-hand side, meaning the spiritual demon Satan worked on these Edomites' mind to come up with these different policies and deception and technology and innovation to forward the agenda of the Heavenly Father on the left-hand side, because the Heavenly Father, he deals with good and evil. He deals with the light and the darkness. It's the duality of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says to take peace from the earth and that they should kill one another. These are the characteristics of Esau. And there was given unto him a great sword, going back to his blessing in Genesis, the 27th chapter. So we're reading that Esau, he deceived the whole world. Revelation, the 12th chapter. Then he set up to take peace from the earth. And he's going to be using these tactics to forward his ultimate agenda, which is to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive this technology that you see on your screen. And this technology is intended to go under the skin. All right, so the build up to this, all right, years ago you heard about the real ID. Okay, your regular ID wasn't sufficient enough, right? You needed that same ID, but with a damn star on it that was an indication that this ID is a real one. With the influx of migrants, the influx of security threats online, people stealing your identity, your profile, people walking around with credit cards and property that was that's in somebody else's name. That was a threat. But what is a real ID? It says a real ID is a state issued driver's license or identification card that meets higher federal security standards. It is required for boarding domestic flights. A domestic flight is like if you fly from California to Texas, that's a domestic flight. All right. You need a real ID for boarding domestic flights and entering secure federal facilities, such as military bases and courthouses. So just like it says, if you don't have this real ID, you can't take flights and you can't enter into military bases or courthouses. It says to get one, you must apply in person at a DMV with documents providing your identity, date of birth, social security number, and residency. A real ID is marked with a star in the top corner and is a federally accepted form of identification. Okay. Real ID is used for boarding domestic flights within the U.S., entering secure federal facilities such as military bases, federal courthouses, and nuclear power plants. All right. So, hey, you got people to get the real ID because you won't be able to take domestic flights. Now, if you got a passport, then that's considered a real ID. All right. So if you got a passport, then you ain't got to worry about getting this until, of course, that passport gets expired. But you see, with freedoms, it's taken away from a person if they don't consent to getting this real ID, right? If you don't have a real ID, you won't be able to take flights. Now, what is a digital ID? A digital ID is a secure electronic representation of a person's identity that can be used to verify who you are online or in person. All right, it serves as a virtual equivalent to a physical documents like driver's license or passport and can include information such as your name, date of birth, biometric data like fingerprints. These digital credentials allow for secure and efficient access to services while often giving users more control over their personal data. So basically, the real ID, the digital ID is a electronic version of the real ID, right? So it has all this information. So how a digital ID is used. It says assessing services. A digital ID can be used to prove your identity online for online services such as banking, healthcare, or government portals. Age verification. It can be used to verify your age for age-restricted products or services without having to show a physical ID or share unnecessary information. It's going to come a time where, in order to use the internet, in order to use YouTube, all right, social media, they're going to have to do age verification. And if you don't have a digital ID, you won't be able to use those services, certain apps. Being able to use your phone. Pretty sure in the very near future, you're going to have to show a digital ID to show that it's you using this phone. And Esau, he's going to have some type of major security threat, some type of T attack, cyber attack happen that will put him in position to make it to where everybody has to have digital ID. Look, key feature security. Digital IDs use cryptography and secure transactions to protect your information. And look, Esau, we know how Esau rolls, man. He creates this boogeyman, whether it's somebody from the Middle East or some, cyber threat, and it'd be used for people to, feel like, oh, I don't want my personal information out there. I don't want nobody walking around acting like they're me and committing crimes and I get in trouble. So that digital ID is going to be something used for people to have comfort. Convenience. A single digital ID can be used for multiple services, eliminating the need to remember many different login credentials. And Esau, he's going to use fear and convenience to push this. The fear is, like I mentioned, somebody can have your ID, your identification, or you won't be able to have your lifestyle that you once had without having this information. I mean, having this technology, this digital ID. And then convenience is very simple. You ain't got to worry about losing it. It's right there. You got your phone already in your hand. All right. You ain't got to remember any different passcodes and passwords. Just use your phone. And it's going from digital IDs to the MOTB, which is a electronic device that's the size of a damn grain of rice. Now, with us going into the digital IDs and the real ID, we already see that the MOTB infrastructure. Let's go into that word infrastructure real quick. Infrastructure. It says the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities. All right, so the MOTB infrastructure is the internet, the collection of data, these supercomputers, you being able to tap and pay, you having this online portal where you have all these IDs linked to it. That's already here. The MOTB infrastructure is already here. Esau just needs an excuse to convince people that, look, you need this technology in you. And he's going to be using fear and convenience in order to push it. So let's continue on. It says that basic physical and organizational structures and facilities, buildings, road, power supplies needed for the operation of a society or enterprise. So he already has this system of operation already set in place, right? So making the MOTB mandatory is going to be a quick work, right? This is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causes all. This is talking about these Edomites who's in a position of power like we were talking about earlier. Both small and great. Everybody. Whether you rich, as it says, rich and poor, free or bond. You know, all economic, social and economic statuses. Right? To receive this technology in their right hand or in their foreheads. And the purpose of it is that no man might buy or sell. Okay, that's going to be the fear that's pushed behind this. Just like we read with the real ID, if you don't have the real ID, you won't be able to board domestic flights. All right. Or enter any federal facilities. And that deadline was May 7 this year, 2025. So when he pushed the MOTB, this technology you see on the screen, the fear would be is that you won't be able to buy and sell. But get on the plane shit, you ain't gonna be able to buy and sell. You ain't gonna be able to pay for your apartment. You ain't gonna be able to get your tags on your car and get car registration and go get the latte. Go pay for your gym membership. Go get groceries, gas, you know, clothes for you, you know, different basic necessities without that technology. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the technology or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And if you take the technology, you have all this. You got the mark, which is the technology that you see on the screen right here. That's the mark. The number of the name of the beast. Who rules this system? Whose name is on this kingdom? This beast that is talking about is talking about a kingdom. All right. The name of this beast, the name that's on this system is Esau. Esau is the last nation of people the last nation of people to rule before Yahushua and his government rules. 2nd Esdras 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the world, end of an age, end of a rulership. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the name of the beast is Esau. Name that's on this kingdom is Esau. And like we read in Revelation 12, all right, he's that old serpent called the devil and Satan. All right, these are titles for these devils. Or the number of his name. It's going to break down the number of his name in the 18th verse. Here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. And to simplify it, it's the UPC code. Because this technology is going to have a unique identification number that's associated with it. And that number is going to be linked to a person, the number of a man. And once you swipe that technology on whatever device Esau has, people swiping it on, it's going to pull up your digital ID. All right. Your driver's license is going to have all your personal data, your fingerprints, your medical records. It's going to be used to verify who you are. Because eventually, all this stuff is going to get hacked or something. Something's going to happen to where we can't use the digital IDs. The real ID, we can't use that no more. Okay, the digital IDs, man, we can't do that no more. We have to go to this technology. Okay. So from real ID, we went into what a real ID is, went into a digital ID. Basically, it's a real ID, but it's just stored on an electronic device like your cell phone. It's an electronic representation. All right. And then we went into what the MOTB is. You should know what the MOTB is. All right, but this is the buildup. And as I was mentioning when opening the lesson, Esau uses gradualism, and that's a way he can deceive people through gradualism. Let's do that. Take out biology. And let's see what gradualism is.
Gradualism.
A policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. Esau isn't doing sudden change. All right, he's just going to he's easing in on people. Getting you comfortable with it. All right, let's go to Revelation 14. We'll close out because there's a judgment for those who take this technology. This is Revelation 14 and 9. Doom for the worshipers of the beast. Another word for worship is to pay homage, to respect, to fear. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his technology in his forehead or in his hand, any one of these people that take this technology in them, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So when Yahweh Shai come, all right, these people that got this technology is going to get destroyed. And that's how we know that Slack is. That's how we know that the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasted greatly, because you have people walking around. Pretty sure you didn't even know it. You walked past somebody or someone walked past you and they had this technology in them already, man. You know, it's people walking around right now with this technology. So we at the end, infrastructure is already set up. Technology is already out there, but Esau has to make it mandatory. So something has to happen. And we went into his characteristics. We went into Revelation 6, how he set up to take peace from the earth. So when something major happens, some type of national event, all right, some historical event, you know Esau bringing it. And it's an effort for him to fulfill his part in end time prophecy. So I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, this was edifying to the Lord's elect. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. And double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Shalom, Akim. Stay watching.